The call to exercise restraint sounds almost ancient, yet the power it holds, particularly in the domain of sexual energy and semen retention, is anything but outdated. For centuries, sages, warriors, mystics, and monks have known that semen energy is not a fluid to be carelessly wasted, but a sacred force to be cultivated, conserved, and channeled. Exercising restraint is not repression. It is refinement. It is the mastery of self, the grounding of one's most potent energy into purpose, presence, and power. Let us dive deep into why exercising restraint, especially in the form of semen retention, is one of the highest disciplines a man can undertake in the modern age. At the most basic level, semen is composed of minerals, proteins, enzymes, hormones, and life-generating DNA. But beyond biology lies energy. Semen is your life force, your ajas, as it's called in yogic philosophy. This subtle essence governs vitality, immunity, creativity, and spiritual clarity. It takes 40 to 60 drops of blood to produce just one drop of semen. That alone should tell you how precious it is. Every time you ejaculate, you're not just releasing physical fluid, you're dispersing chi, prana, ajas, or life force energy. And when this release is done habitually and compulsively, especially through pornography or lust-driven behavior, a man becomes weak, spiritually, emotionally, and energetically. To exercise restraint, then, is to begin seeing semen not as something to discard, but as something to protect, refine, and elevate. Restraint does not mean fear. It does not mean suppression or shame. True restraint is willful and conscious. It is strength under control. Imagine a raging river channeled through a hydroelectric dam. The same energy that could destroy is now generating power. This is semen energy under restraint. When you restrain yourself from releasing this energy needlessly, you build an internal fire. This fire becomes charisma. It becomes ambition. It becomes clarity, calmness, and the ability to remain unmoved when chaos surrounds you. You develop gravity in your presence. You become magnetic. Weak men react. Strong men respond. That response is born out of restraint. Sexual energy is neutral. It is raw power. Left uncontrolled, it pulls a man into addiction, distraction, and aimlessness. But when restrained and transmuted, it becomes genius. It becomes poetry, art, business, leadership, physical endurance, spiritual awakening, and emotional mastery. Nikola Tesla, Muhammad Ali, Mahatma Gandhi, and many other great men practiced semen retention. Why? Because they understood that every time you hold your seed, you retain not just fluid. You retain momentum, motivation, and divine force. You feel it. When you don't ejaculate for several weeks, you become more focused. You begin to see your mission clearly. You wake up with fire in your belly. You no longer waste hours on nonsense. You build. You create. You conquer. This is a reward of exercising restraint. Semen retention is the daily practice of saying no to the lower self. It is looking temptation in the face, whether it be lust, pornography, or meaningless sex, and choosing higher ground. In the beginning, it is a struggle. Your brain, accustomed to easy dopamine from sexual release, will scream for satisfaction. But every time you say no, you build a new neural pathway. You train your mind to obey you, not your impulses. Over time, your no becomes heavier than other men's yes. It gains spiritual weight. People feel it. This psychological discipline bleeds into all areas of your life. You become someone who doesn't flinch under pressure. You say no to laziness, no to distraction, no to fear. That's the power of restraint. It forges character. Though this should never be your sole reason for practicing retention, it's undeniable. Women feel your energy when you're retaining. When you're exercising restraint, your body holds more testosterone, more vitality, more presence. Your eyes sharpen, your voice deepens, your posture straightens, your scent changes, your aura becomes electric. Why? Because you're holding what others are losing. You become rare. Most men are constantly chasing women, but a man who exercises restraint is chasing excellence. That man draws attention without trying. He becomes the hunted, not the hunter. And the paradox is beautiful. The more you retain, the less you need female validation. And that very detachment is what makes you infinitely more attractive. Energy is not static. What you don't release physically must go somewhere. As you hold your semen, it begins to rise. It travels upward through your spine, opening your chakras, stimulating your pineal gland, and awakening your inner genius. You begin to dream more vividly. You begin to speak more clearly. Your body feels alive. You are no longer living the groin. You are living from the heart, from the crown, from the soul. This is what ancient alchemists called the great work, the transmutation of base instincts into divine radiance. And it is only possible when you exercise restraint. Semen retention is not a sprint. It's a lifestyle. When you commit to long-term restraint, your entire life transforms. Mental clarity. Your mind becomes sharp and laser-focused. Emotional control. You no longer ride the roller coaster of mood swings. Physical strength. You feel more energy, stamina, and virility. Spiritual awakening. You feel more connected to God, to Source, to your soul. Leadership. People follow men who can master themselves. You become that man. There will be setbacks. You will relapse. But with every failure, learn. Get back up stronger. Because the goal is not perfection. It is progress. And every moment you choose restraint, you are rewriting your destiny. You become a king among men. Look around you. Most men are slaves to pleasure, slaves to lust, slaves to their phones, to their impulses, to quick relief. A man who exercises restraint is a king in a world of addicts. He walks differently. He speaks differently. He acts with vision, not impulse. He builds empires while others chase fantasy. He lives with depth while others skim the surface. This is your invitation to rise above the animal and step into the divine. Make restraint your religion. Exercising restraint is not just about semen retention. It's about who you're becoming. Every time you hold your seed, you're telling your future self, I care about you. I'm investing in you. I will not sacrifice you for momentary pleasure. That is love. That is discipline. That is power. Make restraint your religion. Practice it not just in the bedroom, but in your words, your diet, your thoughts, your habits. Learn to pause. Learn to wait. Learn to hold. Because the man who can delay gratification is the man who can create empires. Restraint is not chains. It is wings. It's time to fly. Join the Retain to Thrive Telegram channel at the link below, where we focus on building discipline, overcoming distractions, and achieving goals. Join the supportive community sharing tips, motivation, and accountability. Let's grow together, one step at a time. Subscribe to this channel and like the video.